Hello guys, it's Chummaster. Today I'm doing another Beyblade ranking video, this time on Sparking, or Superking, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to try to do this one a little bit quicker. I feel like sometimes I take a little bit too long on the explanations. I don't know, I'll just try it out this time. Just see how it goes. Hopefully this isn't too long of a video, but anyway, we'll just see how it goes. But yes, so this ranking video is something, because I feel like a lot of these stock combos I'm not the biggest fan of, but they also look really cool. Kind of an awkward one to rank, but anyway. 20th, Abyss Diablos. This is definitely the worst Sparking Bay in my opinion. 5 Fusion Dash, you can't tell me that's good at all. It's not like Diablos at all, it just sucks. 1 Stamina, I guess. And this is just based on, Erase and not Master. It just seems really awkward. And it also just seems more like a pre-evolution to Erase than anything. It just sucks. It's only an evolution, really, because it's in the Sparking system, but it really just feels worse than it, which, yeah. Looks decent though, but it just has nothing going for it. Number 19, First Uranus. So there's 2 combos to this one. You could do Wheel Mobius 1 Defense, like the manga combo, or there's the anime combo, which is Mobius 2 Defense without the rubber parts. So I just left it blank. And yeah, it's just kind of a variant Lucifer clone, kind of, I guess, in that regard. Or you could just make it have Mobius with, Wheel 1 Defense, or just kind of whatever. Aside from that, it just kind of exists. It's just kind of a cool collector's item. Looks alright. I still like it more than Abyss, though, even if it's just this. But, it's just kind of here. I don't know what else to say about it. It just exists. Number 18, King Helios. It's blue and left spin. Sure, Zone is, okay, I guess. 1 balance, whatever. King kind of sucks. Helios, I mean, it's, kind of cool, but at the same time, it's there's really nothing going on here. I can't, it doesn't do anything in particular at all. It just exists. You could, change it to, the 10-blade mode instead of the 5-blade mode, but at the same time, just kind of, okay. Again, this is, probably the most neutral thing for me. It exists, and I acknowledge that it exists, and that's all I can say about King Helios. Number 17. Death Diablos, kind of the opposite. In terms of how this bay, well, not looks, but I guess just the parts it has. Same Diablos chip as Abyss, whatever. Death is just there, I guess. It doesn't do much. 4-turn merge dash, also 1 defense. 1 defense, just again, whatever, but 4-turn merge dash, this is not Diablos at all. It sucks. But, unlike Abyss looks fine, but this thing actually looks really cool. I just wish maybe they could have given this a 1 balance at the very least. Maybe that this kind of color, turn. I don't know, maybe give it bullet dash. Just something to make it half decent. Because again, it just feels like a pre-evolution to not Death, Venom. But it's a Sparking system, so it's an evolution to Master, I guess. It's not good at all, but man, does it look cool. So I have to give it some credit. Yeah, it's the opposite of King in that regard, because in terms of part selection, terrible. But design-wise, this thing's actually pretty nice, but I can't give it anything higher than this, because there's nothing else going on with it outside of the design. This is probably going to make some people mad. 16th. World Spriggan. I don't like World Spriggan that much. The left spin mode looks kind of cool, I guess, but the right spin mode, I don't like the gold and the silver. 2 balance, sure, but it's just a lot of gold. Unite dash, eh. It's also just very round. There isn't much going on here. You just have the burst stoppers and the free spin. There's no rubber or metal aside from this metal part here, because it's LR, but whatever. I don't know, it just feels like a very Spriggan. It's just kind of there. And it's definitely an underwhelming one, I think. For the most part, there just isn't a lot going on. It exists. It looks kind of cool and left, but right, I don't like it. Nice to have, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of a mediocre Spriggan in my opinion, and that's all I can say about it. 15th, Rage Longinus. Design-wise, I do not like this thing. I don't like the Bloody Longinus color scheme or style of this thing at all. But, the chip and destroy dash or whatever, but the Rage Ring and 3A, how they function together for the upper attack is really cool. But it's just not cool enough compared to some other stuff, and also the design. I just don't care for this design, man. So overall, it just kind of gets into this weird spot where I just don't have a lot to say about it, other than yeah, the design's not my favorite, but the gimmick's kind of cool. I guess you got the metal here. That's neat. It's just here. I know a lot of people probably like Rage, but I just don't care for it. Number 14, Jet Wyvern. Design-wise, it's alright. One defense around, sure. The jet ring, kind of the idea of same spin, deflecting, opposite spin, absorbing is cool. The Wyvern chip is okay. It's like pretty cool overall. It probably should have been top half, but the Just driver holds it back for me. This driver is absolutely horrendous. And it's not like the bay is that crazy. I feel like as a Wyvern evolution after almost 4 years, it was kind of underwhelming, to be honest, in terms of both design and gimmicks. But like, at the same time, kind of cool. But like, this driver for me is just not it. Just does not do it justice at all. And because that just kind of gets put here in this awkward spot. And yeah, 14th, yeah. Number 13, Super Hyperion. Super Hyperion is another basic one. There's really nothing going on with this thing. Exceed's kind of cool, I guess. But like, nothing's going on. It looks pretty cool, nothing crazy. But I just like the idea of it just flying around the stadium, hitting hard. And it's not like good competitively, but just as a stock combo, it's kind of cool, you know. And yeah, I just kind of like it enough. It's just solid, I think. And that's kind of like an opposite of King Helios, where King Helios is just such a middle of the road, just super mediocre. Hyperion just very, you know, like solid, and I definitely like it a lot more for that. Number 12, Hyperion Burn. Okay. This is another weird one. So, Hyperion Burn is just kind of like, in some ways, I just think it's worse than Super. It kind of like, Exceed Dash plus X sucks. It just flies out of the stadium for no reason. It bursts way too easily, but man, the design is so cool. Also has a limit break where these 4 blades can extend out to hit the metal. It definitely looks very cool, and some of the gimmicks, they're there, but again, it just isn't quite good enough, and I don't rate these competitively, but it just sucks when this bay just flies out of the stadium on its own and bursts constantly. It just makes it feel very underwhelming, you know, but I do like the design enough, and the gimmicks, I mean, there's something going on, so I'll give it a spot above Super, but like kind of hesitantly. And I guess, sure, why not? Alright. Number 11. Lucifer the End. Chip's cool. The End is like, okay, you had like the free spin stuff. Neat, I guess. Whatever. Drift is pretty nice, like an evolution of Mobius. I think that, you know, Lucifer the End is pretty cool. Overall, it's a pretty solid bay, you know, I like it. My problem with it, though, because, like, you know, I think design and gimmicks are all solid, but the problem, Variant Lucifer is just cooler, even if it's not as practical. This just kind of whatever. It's like, okay, cool, free spin. And I feel like because of that, if this wasn't related to Variant, I might like it more, but because of what the barrier was, I think that's what makes me like Variant more than this thing. It's still cool, don't get me wrong, it's just not gonna compare to Variant in my opinion, so that's why I'm putting it just out of reach of the top half of the list, so yeah. Number 10, Glide Ragnarok. This thing's just good. Glide is, you know, nice. Ragnarok's pretty good chip design. One Stamina's cool. Wheel is, you know, pretty nice. Revolve, sure. Yeah, I do like, I just like Glide Ragnarok. There is not much to say about it, like the gimmicks. It's like, what, these stamina wings? Like, okay, cool. It just is a very solid stamina type. It's kind of bulky, like a Ragnarok should be, and that's just, it just does that perfectly, I think, with Glide. And it looks pretty cool. I wish it maybe bursted a little bit less, but you know what? I still like Glide. I'll give it just kind of scraping into the top half of the list, so yeah. Number 9, a weird one, Tempest Dragon. Tempest Dragon is odd for me because I do like this thing. Charge Metal is whatever, one attack kind of works for this thing. Tempest, you know, like the whole like bound thing. I mean, it works better for stamina, but whatever. You know, Dragon Chip is nice, I guess. But I actually think this is a really cool bay. I might have honestly put this thing top 5, but it has to follow up Imperial Dragon. It does not follow Imperial. I just think Imperial was so crazy and beyond everything else we've ever seen. And then going to Tempest, it's like, it's still a cool bay, it just doesn't quite get to that level of Imperial, so that's kind of why it's a little bit lower than I would normally put it. But I still do like Tempest quite a bit. Number 8, Mirage Fafnir. This is just a solid Fafnir. It has nothing, you know, okay, classic 2 stamina with the counter mode or the absorb mode like it's in now, sure. The rubber just fully covers the ring. Nice Fafnir chip design. The color scheme works here. This is just a Fafnir that I think, does its job well as a Fafnir and also looks cool. There really isn't much else to say, because I feel like, again, a lot of these Sparking Bays, I feel like there's just not really anything too crazy about them, other than the fact that they just look cool. And yeah, this one just looks cool to me. And I like it, and there isn't much, again, there's just not much to say about Mirage Fafnir, other than, yes, it has rubber and is a cool Fafnir. Moving on. Number 7, Variant Lucifer. The Lucifer chip is nice, got the metal. Yeah, Mobius is cool. Okay, Variant itself sucks. I'm just going to say that now. However, 2 Defense carries this thing. These rubber pieces, all 6 of them come out, and they kind of go inward during a battle over time. It's such a stupid gimmick, having these 6 rubber blades come down to make a barrier. And it sucks against, same spin opponents. It's so dumb. But it's just cool as well. Like, we don't see anything else like this. It just does its own thing, and you know what? I kind of respect that. As dumb as a bay as this is, it's just so wacky that I can't help but to just appreciate what it is, and I definitely like it for that. So, you know what, Variant, you get pretty high marks from me. It's just so stupid, but I do like it. Number 6, Curse Satan. Curse Satan, we finally got a Christ Satan evolution. I think they did a pretty good job. It's nothing crazy. But you know what? Okay, the Satan chip's design's nice. They added 5 rollers instead of 3, probably because, they couldn't make the rollers too huge. They wanted to have more, for the sake of distance on the blade. They needed more, really. So 5 works well. They're a bit more exposed now compared to Christ. That's cool. Hurricane got a free spin disc. Universe free spin ring. The bottom part's free spin. 1 defense on here as well. Just mentioning that. Yeah, it's just very free spin. That's kind of that. It just has a lot of free spin going. And that's cool, honestly. It was nice to see Satan back. Didn't need to do too much. And they made it the whole free spin thing with like every part having some free spin on it. That's cool. Also, yes, this thing looks very, very nice. It's just another bay that I think just, again, gets by looking really cool. Having a pretty solid gimmick. And I think it expands on Christ very well. So I do like Curse quite a bit. Number 5, Brave Valkyrie. It's just a good Valkyrie. Got some like harder rubber on the Brave ring, nice Valkyrie chip design. To attack, these rubber blades pair nicely with the wings. Evolution dash is cool. It's just a good Valkyrie. Again, nothing crazy here. It's just a good Valkyrie, and design-wise, yeah, it looks really, really cool. So I am a fan here. Number 4, Infinite Achilles. Infinite Achilles. Nice Achilles design, I would say. 1 balance. It's alright, I guess. Dimension dash, understandable. I think the star of the show here is infinite because you have these swappable pieces. You'd use it without a sub-ring, but why would you do that? You have the infinite sword. You could also use the infinite shield, which I think detracts from the design, but it's nice to have and it's still cool. But this is the main one, so I just left it on. Again, it's nothing crazy, but I think it does Achilles pretty well overall for the most part. But the main reason why this gets by is, again, like most Sparking Bays, it has solid enough gimmicks and whatever, but it just looks so nice. This is easily the best looking Achilles in my opinion. Just from a top-down view, this thing looks crazy. And just with all the other stuff, I can't help but to respect it. So you know what, Infinite Achilles, I'm honestly not a big Achilles fan, but I gotta give it to Infinite for looking this good. Number 3, Helios Volcano. They made this thing so much better. You have the limit break ability where, it's kind of stuck in the, 5 blade mode, switches out to the 10 blade, and I just made it burst. That's fun. But yeah. And can I not get this thing back together? Come on, what did they? Anyway. There we go. Helios 2 has the metal and stuff on it with the metal chip core. Oh, the disc works fine. Zone Dash plus Z, way better than Zone. They did a great job expanding upon that. And I feel like that's just kind of the core theme of this bay. They expanded on King Helios so well. It was such a mid-bay, but they made it something pretty cool. I think Zone Dash plus Z also gives it that cool, use in terms of stock combo stuff for, like, life after death. It's really nice in that regard, and design-wise also looks way, way better. Big fan of this thing in terms of design, and again, for gimmicks, they just made it so much better. They kind of utilized what they had before, but in a way cooler way with the limit break, and I think it's the one limit break bay that really does well in that regard, So, big fan of Helios Volcano. Great job by Takeru Tomy for actually expanding upon this thing nicely. Number 2, Death Solomon. This is the dumbest thing on the list. Okay, let me explain. Solomon chip has metal. That's cool. Death Ring does nothing. 2 balance can be free spin, but it's not here because of the Death Ring. It's just stationary. It exists. Metal fusion, kinda whack. Why in the hell is this thing second place? Purely design. As much as I like Death's design, the parts were really bad. This thing, the parts, they're not good. They're just very whatever. But my god, this thing just looks so good that I have to give it the credit. I have to. It has to get second place from me. Just based on design alone. They gave the stock combo at least, enough. They gave it enough. It's decent. Like, it's okay. But the design, they went crazy on the color scheme here. And, yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say. Probably my favorite design Sparking Bay, honestly. But regardless, number 1. Hollow Death Scyther. What else could it have been? The Death Scyther chip looks great. The hollow ring looks great. Also, I like the metal on here. 4 attack underneath there. You have the whole unbalanced, the balance thing with, 4 attack and hollow. That's really cool. 12 axe, kind of mixed on, honestly, but kind of cool to see a new frame, I guess. High XL dash, I think, is pretty neat. Yeah, in terms of like gimmicks and parts, it's pretty solid overall. Nothing crazy, but still like cool, I would say. Again, I don't think there's really any Sparking Bays for the most part. Like maybe 1 or 2 that have like good stock combos and gimmicks. Everything works well, but there aren't really many, honestly. And yeah, I think this one does well. It's like one of the better ones, but again, it's not perfect. But in terms of design, this thing just looks amazing. Come on. Like, like the scythe, the black metal. Hollow Death Scyther is the best Sparking Bay. I would say, like, Death Diablos and Death Solomon get close, and they're kind of, like, all around. Like, I guess even maybe, like, Helios Volcano or, like, Infinite Achilles. Like, these 5 maybe are, like, on par with design. But also just include, like, with, like, theming and stuff. Nah, Hollow's best. Hollow's the best Bay in Sparking, in my opinion, so... Yeah, that's that. And I don't think I really did many improvements based on the time. I wasn't really trying to rush. I just wanted to see if I could make this a little bit faster to not, sit here and just talk about nothing. But I don't think I really accomplished that too much. But anyway, I guess that's that. So yeah, that was a Sparking ranking video. Next is going to be DB/BU. Potentially the last one like this for quite a while. So yeah, I guess maybe 4th gen will do something like this eventually. But yeah, that's that for now. That was a Sparking ranking video. And yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and bye-bye.